Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to the most incredible, skilled playthrough you've ever seen. Oh, they just have close-ups of clipping through graphics because they're counting on you not to look at it. Bugs me.
Watch the
So,
sand. It gets in all your crevices. Jewel must be the hideout around
I hate
here.
sand. It's dry and it's coarse, and it gets in all your crevices.
All the crevices.
Anyway, yeah, so Nico, it's been a little while for you. Remember that we had the guys inside the goddess statue, and then
I remember that.
yeah. And you remember what I said about like, oh, the best group of minions to have is greens and
The
blues,
green and
basically. 'Cause
blues.
blues revive the greens, and then a few browns maybe, and because they can deal with lots of small mobs. And I don't know what I'm facing here. But in general, greens and blues are best, because greens do the damage, and blues provide support.
I wish my old bones were as tough as these, sire. You'll need something with a little more kick to break through them.
So that doesn't work.
Yeah. I assumed it was just another barrier, like I've faced. I've been overcoming barriers my entire life. I think it's really weird that the fire bug is weak to fire. Not like weak, but vulnerable to fire. Like,
I
this
mean,
shouldn't work.
I guess you
to me.
don't have... do you have any other elemental spells?
No, you do not. But it's still weird to me.
You know, I think it's more okay. I think it's alright that they did it this way. I prefer that when you only have...
Be wary, master. No doubt that
yes.
guard will alert his friends.
That guard we didn't see, yeah. Because the camera
Mhm.
didn't, like, auto-lock on him.
Yeah, I prefer
they're
when
throwing ninja
when they
stars.
only give you like an elemental spell that the elemental weaknesses are not actually of importance.
Right. It's just your damage spell. You're right.
Exactly.
It still kind of messes with my brain, though, because I'm so used to Pokemon.
You know,
In
in
fact,
Pokemon
fire
it
and
makes sense
water
because
or ice is a pretty consistent theme in all games.
fire, grass, and water.
These were the three types of benders that controlled the world until one day.
These
So that's a cool thing.
are extremely
Mhm.
tough, Dark One. Avoidance is the best tactic.
Nice.
Prolonged motion on the sand seems to agitate them.
No, but
Mega
like,
Man, Mega Man, that's a sandworm. You better watch your back.
you know, I would actually disagree when it comes to fire and water being the most consistent. Because if anything, they are always inconsistent.
Oh, I guess you're right, because sometimes fire... Oh, they're dead. That is very cool. I don't know if you saw that whole animation, though, but they put some effort into that animation.
Yes. But this was actually a really good way of getting around it. Just send a few, distracted, and get through it.
It was, but that wasn't my intention originally. I was sort of seeing how long it took, getting an idea for that sort of stuff. And then I was hoping this time they would get off the sand in time. And I also learned something weird, that it doesn't spawn relative to the motion. It spawns... I don't know exactly what the rules are that govern it spawning, but
I
could
would assume there's some of it is also glitched because this is Overlord.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of corners cut in this game. And even though I actually enjoyed it, the whole playthrough, except for a few parts. But
Careful, master. They're powerful.
so that's a blaster bug. What do you think it does?
Blood fall down. Go boom.
Dude, one day I'm gonna do a MechWarrior 4 playthrough.
And safe. Apologies, sire. Their brains are quite tiny.
See, minions have tiny brains, but wait a second. Isn't Gnarl a minion? Was he negging himself there? We'll never know.
I don't think Gnarl's a minion.
I mean, he looks like a minion, and I'm racist.
He looks like
so I
one,
think
but
everyone
he's
who looks
definitely of a much higher position.
Yeah. Like I said, the final boss of the game should be Gnarl. He should have usurped you because he's clearly more competent.
I mean, he is. He knows everything.
So I'm like, I'll fight these buggos. Wait, they spawn infinitely. And you would think that this would be the point where I've only killed them 3 times, so whatever. This would be, and they leave little things behind him, and minions can pick them up and put them on his hats. Super kawaii.
So you have to use them for the freaking, do you just bait them into the walls?
No, remember when we were watching that part with the dodo birds, or whatever they're called?
Oh, there are eggs here.
Yeah, this is where I learned the mechanic for real, because when I first said that, I was just kind of guessing. But this is where I learned that no, that's a mechanic. You pick up the eggs. But the game never tells you that. It does hint at it very heavily, so I do figure it out, of course. It's just, there's going to be about, let's see, maybe a couple minutes of me trying to figure this out. See, I'm like, come here, Buggy.
Yeah,
so I figure, well, maybe if I beat him up.
Next.
Nope. He doesn't follow me.
Yeah, they're like really stationary.
Which, on the one hand, I get that they're trying to make you use the egg mechanic, but on the other hand, it just feels very forced. Feels very video gamey.
I mean, all things considered, I feel that if they are putting endlessly respawning bugs, which that wasn't a thing before, like ever, they should have actually explode. They should have just made them. Oh.
So I dropped the egg over there, and then he went over there. I figured it out. I was a little slow. Now I don't know, I still don't know that I need to drop the egg over there, and then what I need to do is attack him. So it's a multi-step process, and my brain can't handle these sorts of things. And also, it's not clear that you can target the nest. To me. But yes.
This all seems just honestly really static.
Yeah. It is.
You and you, over there. You two stay here.
This voice acting.
Why fight when you can pay others to do it for you? Everyone has a price.
Did you see that eyebrow?
Is she like 15?
It's so sad.
I thought she said, because I was just listening to it, not looking at the subtitles, I think she said, no glamour, Sugoi.
She sounds like every voice actress from an anime.
Really, she does. And like I said, I think Velvet and Rose and Gnarl actually have decent voice acting, but it's clear that the rest of the cast did not get the same attention. And see, I dropped an egg over there. He's not even paying attention to it. You have to pick it up and drop it while they're spawned. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm mad.
Yeah, I understand.
Mad.
Because it was clear that you could actually get him close there by other means, but unless there was a thing there, it didn't count because they say so.
Yep. It's just very railroaded. Unlike Breath of the Wild.
It's very mechanical.
Your own approach,
oh,
and all
Jesus.
Because what happens in these, sort of situations is these guards have this big Link-like sword spin. When they do that sword spin, they do a large amount of damage to all the minions around them, and even with a large number of blues, they killed too many minions for my blues to resurrect in time, so yeah.
Still you have around half of them still.
And I made it back
Better
to
than
where we
your track
started.
record.
Yeah, you're right. I was trying. I'm just not very competent. But so my minions had made it all the way back to there when I recalled them earlier because I was, doing various other things and they were on another part of the map after I had baited the sandworm. But finally, we get it deposited and I get a little more mana.
Your mana has been increased.
Nice.
And you can see the amount that increases the maximum by is also added to my current level. So that's nice. But yeah, what you have to do here is you've opened up this way, so now you can get to the nest. Then you can lure that boog.
At the very least, you can very easily ignore them if you want to.
No, because I need to use them.
No, I mean like you can easily ignore them and not have to fight them because they don't really follow you.
Yes. They don't follow you. That is true. Although they're so easy to fight that I wouldn't really care. They're not challenging except for the part where they explode.
When you find a fool, don't kill her. What?
There she goes.
That little flibberty gibbet knows much
Flibberty
about
gibbet.
friends. Capture her, and I think I can persuade her to be a little more talkative.
Her name is Sugar Plum, remember?
Yes. Sugar Plum the Flibberty Gibbet. So obviously these sandworm dudes are gonna come out.
Keep moving.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
I was testing to see,
Choose all.
because I didn't want to just
Yeah.
walk out there and lose all 30 of my minions.
It really is very random when he spawns.
I
Like where he spawns.
Yeah. See, there he is. There
It's
he
not even-
is. He's like Cool Cat.
It's not even remotely close.
I think that was partly because there's like an obstacle in the way there, but yeah. And there's Jewel over there. Look at that walk cycle. Oh my gosh, she is running. Oh, and also
Whoa.
I'm fighting these dudes. Whatever.
The walk cycle is pretty special. I mean, you do want to fight them because they can shoot you with arrows.
Yes, they throw things down from there, and also, I was just like wandering around, kind of, you know me. I don't really know what I'm doing with my life.
I wonder which way you're supposed to go.
It's not clear enough. I wish they'd given me more direction.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
the
didn't
big-
really explore the sides here. I bet there's like some secret super treasure off to the side. To the right side, I mean. Because here,
Yeah, but-
obviously,
But then
Can't
there is
move
the sandworm.
they are spoopy. He's eating one of my blues. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Not really, no.
Not yet. They're pretty cool. I like their animations. They look neat. They remind me of those Zelda things, but better. They're a mix between the antlions from Link to the Past and the whatever those things were that came up from the ground and then spun around and then moved to another place and sunk back into the ground.
Graboids.
I don't know what anything's called, man. I can't read.
New sheepies. It's so nice to see new places, meet new people, and
I'm glad that they put that little bit of dialogue in because anytime Gnarl talks, I'm happy. But I don't really know why they bothered introducing new sheep at this point. They don't act any different. I mean, maybe they're slightly tougher, but
I mean, they slaughtered you. Like lambs.
ha 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 ha. I mean, we got a couple of guys. Not a big deal. And this was all just for an extra anyway, so who really cares?
I think it was less of a introduction of a new enemy type and more of a you kill sheep a lot because they're easy.
I think regardless, I
Oh,
enjoyed the fact.
That's texture.
What? I missed it. Oh yeah. I see what you mean. Yep.
And
That guy
there
got
they
killed.
go.
but the rest of them got away, so it works.
Good.
That's the nice thing. The sandworms don't like move. Once they're out at a place, they're there. So your dudes can. Oh, there is a bunch of treasure over there. Look at that. I never went that way. That doesn't really matter. As you well know, I spent money on the only thing that matters. So.
Yeah, I mean, you've already bought everything that has of any importance.
Yeah. I've actually already bought everything that isn't just a choice to switch between things. I wish mine had. Poor Gnarl. He just wants to be loved. I love you, Gnarl. And so this is an alternate route we can take. Let's go this way. Whee!
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I
just like the way that looked, though. Like, visually.
Yeah, it is.
Like all those colors. I don't know.
But it was just really so very unfortunate.
It really was, especially because just the only reason that happened was my minions were trailing especially far behind me. So the only spawn point we have here is reds, and I hate reds, but you know what we're going to use for the next so long? Reds. And that brings me to my main point, which is that Breath of the Wild is a great game. And you know why, Nico?
Why?
Because I can do whatever I want. Now, unlike Skyrim, I can't serve a bunch of evil gods. Unfortunately.
And also you can't crouch to become invisible.
No, you kind of do. There is a stealth mechanic, and if you use all the stealth up stuff, it really is basically like you're crouched and you're invisible. And not only that, if you lure enemies far enough away from where they start, basically where they hang out, they just decide that they're not interested anymore and start walking away, all of them, and then you can pick them off one by one as they walk back.
I guess it was my imagination.
Yes. Similar to that. It's a more fun gameplay experience, but there's less and so now I'm cashing in some minions because I almost died. But
and then they all died.
Yeah, but who cares? They're reds. And a couple of browns. It's a more fun gameplay experience, but the glitches from Skyrim made up for me in large parts for the lack of fun gameplay.
I mean, the way Derpy could just scale the mountains effortlessly at any angle.
Derpy died, Nico.
No.
Remember the time I went off that cliff? And then I made Derpy 2, and Derpy 2 died. And then I made Derpy 3, and Derpy 3 died.
That's what I was gonna say. She lived on as many other horses.
Anyway. So, one thing I really hate about Breath of the Wild is that the horse mechanic is that you just you go find a horse and then you ride it and then you take it to a stable and register it, but the horse that you find, I mean, there's certain special horses you can find, but for the most part it's just like a random horse. And it's like you just find out. Also, look at those reds. Aren't they brilliant? Just throwing their fireballs at a wall because there's an enemy behind it.
They're just as brilliant as your enemies trying to shoot you with arrows over a wall.
Yep. Basically. But what I was getting at was, and then the horse's stats are typically, especially at the beginning of the game, pretty shitty, right? So the intention is that you register a horse at the beginning of the game just to have a horse, and then later on you get the horse you're really going to use. But that's not how I work with horses in video games. I want my horse to be my friend and my buddy that I use and cherish and treasure and build a relationship with, you know? But they don't let you do that.
The way I see it is like in Jade Cocoon, where throughout the whole game I pretty much have the same monster, but I just put the skin of the next one on top of this one.
Yes. Exactly. Like, you want to have... You form a special bond. But
you perform a special alchemy ritual where you take the stats of the next one and merge it together.
you perform the Dark Sacrament with them, and then you're always together.
And
we're getting
it
back to
becomes a
actual
horrible
gameplay stuff.
abomination
So
as a result, but you know, you
So-
don't care because it's still derpy.
So that I was trying to bomb that, but it led 2 bomb beetles into that sandworm, and then he ate them.
That's evil thinking. Another mouthful
And Gnarl thinks that I'm a genius because of that, because now he's dead.
This was totally what we had intended to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a pretty neat thing they put in. Just,
Yeah,
you
that's
know, a
true
way to
because
kill
like you're very
Like, set up
unlikely
so
to actually get it
Right.
on the first go.
Unless I set up something intentionally like that. But anyway, just to finish my thought about it, basically the horses in Breath of the Wild are kind of intended to be like cars in Grand Theft Auto. You don't care about them, and that's not how
Yeah.
I work, man. But the DLC fixes it, and I bought the DLC because I like the game enough. So
Oh, nice! The greens can actually
Yeah.
actually get killed.
yes, they can. Yep. Because they're idiots and they don't have any sense of self-preservation. And the lack of sense of self-preservation is something you count on. But by the same token, when you leave them at a marker, you sort of hope that they'll employ some level of judgment. You know?
Nah, that's
they
expecting
don't.
too much from minions.
It's not a big deal. It just led to me having to spend about 30 minutes grinding more greens in between future parts.
Hmm.
But through the magic of me not recording those parts and Nico editing things,
We don't
It'll
have to
seem
suffer
like-
through it.
it'll seem like I didn't spend any time at all.
Oh, nice! That one has a golden
Golden
axe.
axe. It's almost like we were playing some sort of beat 'em up RPG. Get it? Golden axe?
Hmm.
Haha, I'm funny. Oh, another thing. Well, looks like we gotta go back to the bug's nest. This is a fun mechanic. I like this.
Like they've been in so many places. They're obviously not rare.
No, I gotta go back here.